In the spirit of poop novel, I am doing this vlog video in the bathroom, also because it makes me feel safe. It's like this insulation type feeling, like comfort, like you're being, I was about to say being mauled by a patchwork quilt, because that's what everyone feels like when they're comforted. This video is essentially me, my slow-paced rambling, and the toilet. So if you like that, stick around. Now that I've had so much coffee that I don't feel my brain anymore, let us begin. Topic for today: human connection. So human connection. I am skeptical of human connection. I'm not as much skeptical of human connection as I'm just getting used to the fact that it's not always satisfying. Like, I feed off of human connection, and that's the time in my life when I'm less depressed, when I'm with people. You could say I'm an extrovert. Really, I am more introverted. I just love people a lot. I love people. And it's like I'm one of those people who gets really excited meeting new people. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. And then the new people that I'm meeting run away into the distance because I am way too overbearing when I meet new people. I've toned down in the years of my teen years and my early grown-up years. I've toned it down a bit, I think. I'm not so excited to meet people. Internally, it's like a gerbil is bouncing off the walls, but externally, I'm just kind of like, hey man, how's it happening? Because people receive that better than, oh my god, I'm so happy to meet you. At least that's what I've observed. But yeah, so human connection. I'm skeptical of human connection because there are barriers. There are definite barriers, and people feel the need to be more careful around people they're just meeting, of course, but just even people that I've known for a really long time. It's like sometimes I feel like myself even, I am hesitating just because it's hard to, relationships are hard, and also because I believe that I have to be this upstanding person for people, and I think that people are so fragile. Like, I view the world as this incredible fragile place, and if I do one thing wrong, then everything is just going to collapse, and it's going to be all my fault. Not really all my fault, I just don't want to impact people in a negative way, which is like, you're bound to do that anyway, you can't control it, but me, I believe I'm like some all-seeing person, and that I know people and I can control them in some way. That's why as a kid I used to play by myself, because I needed to control that environment. I needed to control the imaginary people that I was making up and having conversations with. When I have conversations nowadays, I get very self-conscious because I can't control what's going to come out of that other person's mouth, and I can't control how another person is going to react to what I say. So when that happens, it's kind of like a gift as well, because it's like you don't know what's gonna happen, and it's like you can't totally rely on what you think the outcome is going to be, definitely, but it's just me seeing more and more that it's such a great gift that there is so much unknown territory in someone that you know, and over the time that you know them, they slowly kind of bloom in front of you in a way, even though they could be well into their years. They bloom like they are an infant almost in your eyes. And it's this really cool feeling. Like, Alex, we've talked about it, the layer effect that happens when you first meet someone, and then just the trajectory onwards. You just there are layers that kind of appear. Or not even that, maybe it's like a taking away almost of a layer, like you're peeling an onion or something like that, and then you sob internally because you're like, this person's so beautiful. Or at least I do, because I feel things way too intensely, I guess. But yeah, I mean, when I first met you, I thought that you were going to beat the shit out of me and vice versa. And then we realized that we have really weird things in common. Like, we listen to the same opera high, a year apart, but still very weird. And we share a love of books and words. We found that out when we were driving home, and we ended up in Pennsylvania because we started talking about books, and we got so wrapped up in our love of words. There was a lot of this, and a lot of, where are we? And yeah, so we ended up in Pennsylvania because we started nerding out about books. But besides that, it's like, those are moments that I will always hold on to, because it's like getting lost somewhere with someone, like physically, like in the external world, but also getting lost in something that kind of internally that triggered it, because you had that connection, you got lost in the world. But that is what's so beautiful about that moment, because it's like you lose yourself in that connection, in that inner world, and then you get lost externally, and you're just like, oh shit, I forgot about life for a second. That's awesome. And then you get stuck in bumblefuck Pennsylvania, but you know, you always find your way with your GPS, your handy GPS, which isn't too handy. But yeah, so connection is pretty awesome, and I've learned that throughout my years, that you can't rely on yourself. I mean, I'm a person who deals with pride problems, and I won't really totally take someone else's opinion. I won't totally take someone else's advice, because I want to make my own mistakes. But over the years, I have been able to assemble this respect for other people, no matter what, because obviously I can't control them anyway. I have a God complex, apparently. But it's this thing where you can't control a person, but that's what makes it so incredible, you know? And that's really what I'm getting at. And yeah, there's a lot of anxiety and fear that goes into that, but I think that I'm learning to trust other people more, and trust their judgments, and trust their assumptions, and trust that they don't have assumptions about me. But it's cool. It's cool growing up sometimes. But yeah, so it's really great. I mean, I tend to get really discouraged and self-conscious, but it's like, you can't always have that constant reassurance from people. And you just have to trust that they do always think about you positively, and that they do see you in the same way that you see other people, which is through a lover's eyes. I read something recently that was like, look at other people through a lover's eyes, see them as a whole person, their flaws, and what makes them so beautiful, like what a lover sees in them. And I think that is the way I've gone about seeing other people for a really long time, after I realized that there's nothing else you can do but approach the outside world with that internal love, and to just keep trying. It's like, you just have to keep trying. There's really nothing else that someone can do. And people, even though I see people as these fragile beings, I don't give them enough credit, because everyone is so incredibly resilient to pain and hardship and sorrow, and I think that I need to give the world enough credit. I need to not believe that I am going to be the thing that totally rocks another person's world or what have you, because first of all, I'm not that significant. I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm just saying that I may not be that significant. And two, even if I do, that's the beauty of it. Yeah, I destroyed someone's life for a second, but you know what? They will get through that eventually, and they will figure out for themselves what they need to do to get through it and adapt and just evolve in such brilliant ways that they didn't even think possible. And then when you meet them 2 years later, like after maybe a breakup or just falling out as friends, anything really, growing distant, you realize that you impacted them in a negative way, but negative always turns into positive, I believe, with the right mindset, and it really is just a cycle. It's negative, positive, negative, positive. And it really, a friend said to me recently, it's like, I've been thinking in very black and white terms recently. I have to be successful or I'm just going to fail, which really, it's really just an ebb and flow, and we can't really just put all our money on success, because we're going to have a lot of failures, and the failures are what is going to make us better in the future. And I've realized that for maybe the first time a year ago, just going through a lot of shit, and I feel that I would never, ever, ever revoke that privilege of going through that shit. So, yeah, I think that failure is necessary. I've been told many times, like, and yet it's something that has to dawn on me in a personal place. And I think that's happened recently, that failure is necessary, and that the shit is necessary, and we just, when it happens, we just have to be like, yo, it's shitty right now, but you know what, it's gonna bring me to a better place in the future. And now I am rambling on and on, so I will end this video soon. I hope you are feeling like a person. You know, like a person. I hope you're feeling like a person. I hope you're just being right now, and I hope that you are allowing yourself the privilege of failure and the privilege of being a human being with their ups and downs. And I hope that you are as hopeless as hopeful. I'll see you soon, my friend. I don't think I can talk fast enough for vlog videos. Like, people are always like, cut, 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 and I'm just like, I take my time like an ambling old man in the park, feeding the pigeons, like that stereotype goes. Just rambling around with my thoughts. But other than that, yeah, so this isn't fast-paced enough, this doesn't have effects, this is just me rambling on, and I don't talk fast. I take my time, so sorry to whoever is watching this and has the attention span of a goldfish, because people in this world are goldfish or sheep. But let's not talk about that. Toilet. Poop novel. Yum. There's a toilet in my video. Because everybody shits.